Hello, Trailblazers, and welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Journey. Today, I am super stoked to have Natalie Staub on with us today. And Natalie Staub has an amazing SaaS platform that she's going to tell us all about, as well as her journey as an entrepreneur. So really looking forward to everything that she has to say. Natalie, first of all, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into some kind of fun questions.
Okay, amazing. So a little bit about myself. I'm living in the UK for more than 30 years. I come from the industry of e-commerce, digital marketing. I'm a senior lecturer in the field, and I'm also co-founder and CMO of RAD. I'm a mother of 4 sons, and I keep a very, very, very busy life, but very happy, so I can't complain.
Nice. So let me ask you we always ask our guests some fun questions to get started, to know them a little bit better. The first one is, what superpower do you wish you had?
That's a good one. Sometimes I think whether it's to be invisible or to be able to fly. And I think that if I could fly, I could use that more. So imagine just flying into work, flying into meetings, flying overseas, just forever. So probably the ability to fly. What about you? Do you have one?
Ooh, no one reverses it on me. That's nice.
There we go.
I would have to say, I tend to go to the flying route too, but I would think the superpower to learn anything like super quickly, like maybe like you read a book and in like 30 seconds, you've retained it. That would be amazing to me.
Do you think there's a way in which we could make that happen? That would be good. I would love that.
Right. I mean, I know you can learn to speed read, but not to the point where I'm talking about, where you just kind of basically.
No, I like where you're heading with this. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm borrowing your superpower, and I'm taking it as my own as well. So I'm going to be flying, and I'm going to be learning whilst I'm flying. So I guess that's mine. Nice.
And if you have those superpowers, I'm joining your team. So.
Okay. For sure. I think everybody will.
All right. So favorite flavor of ice cream?
So my favorite flavor has to be very rich chocolate, but it needs to have bits inside. So it needs to have a brownie, cookie dough, caramel, no nuts, no raisins. I think that raisins is the devil in disguise. It pretends to be chocolate, and then you bite on it and it's not, and you get major disappointment. So that's going to be mine. Nice. I like that. I'm kind of a chocolate guy myself. I like the kind of having things in your ice cream. It makes it more, for lack of a better word, something chewy.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, really good. So do you have any pets?
I do. So I've got a dog, and her name is Toffee. She's 10 years old. She's a mixture of a Jack Russell and Chihuahua. She's very sweet. She's got a very loud bark. That's the only thing, that it's just ear-piercing. It can really hurt when she decides to bark. That's the only issue, but she's adorable. She's very sweet.
Nice. I have a little dog myself, and we think we don't know, he's a mix, but we think he has a little bit of Chihuahua in him. He's like a Chihuahua Terrier mix, we think, but
does he like to sleep under blankets? That's usually a way to know if they've got Chihuahua in them.
Yes.
So I think so. That's apparently Chihuahuas love to sleep under blankets, and they really love to cover themselves.
He's a cuddler too. He likes to cuddle up real close.
Good. Very sweet.
Yeah. His name's Charlie.
So cute. You know that my eldest son just came back from university for the holidays, for the Easter term, and he hasn't been at home for about 8 weeks. And when he walked through the door yesterday, Toffee just ran to him, and she knew that he wasn't at home for ages.
Oh, wow.
And the way that she greeted him, we sat down and we said that dogs are just full of love, and they have so much love to give, and they just give it so unconditionally, and it gives you a new level of respect for dogs. It's just amazing. It's amazing to see. They're so smart.
I'm not going to say I don't like cats, but I just prefer dogs so much better.
I agree. I think, though, that from every animal, we have something to learn. Right? So from a cat, what can we learn from them? From a dog, it's about loving unconditionally and loyalty. For a cat, it might be independence and kind of self-preservation. There's just, I think from every single animal, no matter how big or small, there's one character trait that we can learn from.
Very true. Very true. That's awesome. So now let's dive into your story a little bit. Like, how did you become an entrepreneur, and kind of give us some cliff notes along the way of your where you started and kind of where you are now?
Okay, so I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm really going to be raw and tell you my own personal story. So I've always been a very strong-minded, independent person. I think that due to circumstances, raising a family, having kids, it took me down the employment route. And I was very happy to be employed. It made me feel secure and comfortable and cushy, and it gave me predictability and some sort of safety whilst I was raising my family. But you know what? Industry has changed. And even though I'm talking about the industry of academia and marketing, it felt kind of safe. And then I went on maternity leave 1 year. I took a whole academic year off and I came back. And when you take time off and you come back into the place or your environment that you work in, you get a whole new perspective on things. And I took a look around me and my colleagues just looked dreadful. They looked so unhappy. They looked old. They lacked life and joy. And at the time, the university was going through a lot of changes. It was the time of the recession, the credit crunch, and there were a lot of redundancies. And people were really feeling the fear. My colleagues, my friends were feeling the fear of being made redundant, of getting the sack. And that drove them to saying yes to jobs, to tasks that were not aligned with their values, with their personal professional development, or did not give them any value financially. And in a way, they became enslaved to the employer, to the job, out of fear. And I took a look around myself and I said, fuck it. There is no way I'm jumping on this ship, right? This is not for me.
Right.
And I saw it and it made me very cautious not to waste any more time and be swept into this. And I realized the only way I can remain independent and aligned with my goals and my own interests and the values that I can bring is to have an area where I can be self-employed. Because even though we think employability gives you security, it's a false sense of security. This doesn't exist anymore. And I knew that I needed my own channel to be able to be accountable 100% for all decision making. And when you wake up accountable and responsible, it really pushes your boundaries for greater growth. And in every sense of the word, the growth in emotional growth, spiritual growth, intellectual growth, financial growth, it can also, lead to hurdles, but that leads to growth too. And I knew that there's no other option. So that's not to say that I don't also like elements of employment. I love my job as a lecturer. I love the circle of learning and value exchange in teaching. So that really gives me a sense of fulfillment in one aspect, but that alone is not enough. So then I realized I have to start a business. I have to start something independent. And it gave me, when I walked into my office, into my job, I felt that I had another superpower, which relates to your first question. And that superpower was, I'm walking in as me. It gave me kind of like something I could put on myself, like a superhero. And I felt no one can take this away from me. No one can threaten me. No one can make me feel fearful of losing my job because I've got me. And that is the biggest superpower that you can ever possess. Your own, knowing who you are, and also, in my opinion, faith in God.
Yes.
And no one can take it away from you. And the minute that I realized it, I knew who I am and what my capabilities are. And I walk with my head up high, with no fear, with full confidence, because I know who I am and what my capabilities are. So then the question is, where did I start? I spoke to my brother, and my brother is a really big role model for me in the entrepreneurship area, because he's a very successful entrepreneur and he's never been employed a day in his life. So he straight away knew, nah, thanks guys, that's not for me. I'm not going to let someone tell me when to take holiday, when to go to the toilet, when to have a lunch break. I'm good. And he's, very successful. And I said to him, listen, it's the route I want to go down. Where do I start? And he said, you know what? The best way is to just start. And the business that you're going to start with is not going to be the business, but it's going to lead you there. Find an area that you can really add immense value in and just start. And that will over time evolve into the business that you're going to specialize in. And that's what I did. My area naturally lends itself to digital marketing, to e-commerce. That's where I work, I consult, I lecture, which means I really knew the market very well. I knew the pain points and I knew where I could add immense value. So I did lots of little businesses and I got the ball rolling, and I really developed a lot of skills, an understanding of who I am, further understanding of the market. And then I had a conversation about kind of what I'm up to with one of my childhood friends. And we've been friends since we're 5 years old. And I was telling her about my business and she was telling me about hers. And we're like, okay, we're going to do something together. And the rest is history. And that's how it started. We therefore started a company called RAD. We specialize in influencer content, in user-generated content, in live streaming on e-commerce sites. And we're growing every day, and we're expanding both professionally and also personally. And we've never looked back. We're the happiest we've ever been. And if there's something that I always tell my students at the university, because I'm very, very happy and proud to still be lecturing at the university, exactly to teach my students what I went through. And I say to them, always find multiple revenue streams, regardless of the minute that you wake up. Even if you're working from someone else, you are self-employed because you're waking up and your mission is to accomplish your values and your personal objectives. Sometimes it will be through employment. Sometimes it will be a different project, but you're still self-employed. You're 100% accountable for your own actions. And I really stand very strongly for that.
Wow. So much of your story resonates with me. It's like when I was starting my entrepreneur journey, I was also working, and I saw I was on the way to get promoted, right? And I looked at my boss and his boss. Like you talked about your colleagues and how they just looked like it wasn't the life they wanted to lead, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at my boss and his boss. Yes, they were making much more money than I was at the time, but they looked miserable. And I was like, that's where I'm headed.
That's it.
And I said, no. So
very good. Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree completely. I mean, my colleagues look dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Bags under their eye. They looked like they had no life in them, and saying yes to everything like puppets. Like, are you kidding me? What is this slavery? Absolutely not. But if we're in this situation, we've only got ourselves to blame. I mean, I know that circumstances in life get you to a place where you've got to take on a job that you might not love, but what else are you doing to get yourself out of it?
Right. Yes. Very, very, very good. Yeah. If you're employed, yes, you need it to, support your family or whatever you need to do. You should find another revenue stream, whether you're into investing or Absolutely. You're into starting your own business as a side hustle and growing it from there. Always look for ways to support yourself outside of your job.
Absolutely.
Love it. So let's talk about RAD. And as a child of the 80s, I'm kind of giving away my age here.
Me too. We're on the same. Yeah. I mean, I just gave away my age, but absolutely.
I love the name. So I know it's a SaaS platform. I know it has something to do with e-commerce, but if you could dive in just a little bit more and tell us about it.
Okay, so at RAD, we boost the power of influencers and customers through integrating shoppable videos at the point of purchase. These are videos that are created by customers post-purchase, that are created by influencers for the brand, and we embed those shoppable videos. They're like very highly visual and interactive product and service reviews on product pages, on home pages, everywhere on an e-commerce site. Our philosophy is as follows. A brand spends so much time and money on developing a social strategy on social platforms, but why not bring the same social influence to the point of purchase, which is the brand's own e-commerce site? We create instant social proof. It helps build trust and credibility in the brand, which we know has a very positive impact on purchase decisions. And we have another really cool tool, which is the live cast. This is where we host live streams on e-commerce sites. It's where an influencer can invite their social followers and say, guys, join me on this website, 8 p.m. I'm going to show you the latest looks. And we just did a huge collaboration with Vicky Patterson. She's a huge TV celebrity and influencer here in the UK. And she joined forces with Barry M, and they sold the no filter range with 749 increase in sales, times 10 web traffic. And imagine all this valuable data that you're also capturing on these customers. And so we're going from strength to strength. We know that influencer marketing is an essential part of e-commerce strategy. We know that live streaming is the future of e-commerce, and we're super excited to be in this space.
That is awesome. Awesome. I have checked out the site and I think it's amazing. So I know many companies leverage influencers to market the products, but your software actually helps. Why does every online store need an influencer marketing strategy, in your opinion?
Look, I like to be very pragmatic in my approach and always give very honest advice. Maybe there are some stores that don't need an influencer marketing. Maybe it's a type of store that has an amazing SEO. They get all the search traffic into their site. They make a sale. It's some sort of a marketplace, done. Okay. But most brands are really engaging in a highly competitive market. And it's very, very, very hard to get noticed. And for this reason, engaging in an influencer marketing strategy allows you to leverage from an influencer's engaged audience, and it allows the brand to get noticed. Influencer marketing works in many ways, and it sits differently in the funnel strategy of a brand. So really at the top of the funnel, to increase awareness, you want to work with the big influencers that have a very high number of social awareness, social engagement. But then further down the funnel, the minute that your customers are ready to convert is where you want to go for maybe micro influencers and nano influencers, because they have heightened credibility, a bit more trust, because they're less monetized. And this is where you want to put user generated content for the same reason. This could, realistically in marketing sense, that could be content that you put on the product pages where the customer is now ready to convert and they're looking at extra reviews and extra videos created by other customers or nano influencers. But essentially, yeah, it gives you engagement, it gets you noticed, and it helps build your brand's reputation, credibility, and trust.
It's hard for me to think of a brand or a company, even if they do have a solid SEO strategy or something else that is bringing that wouldn't just boost it even more. So
I know, I agree. I mean, but you know what? You said it, not me. That's what counts.
Yeah, I mean, don't just get comfortable with your one marketing strategy. Absolutely. Right? Or Absolutely. always try and ramp it up. So
absolutely.
I love it. Here's a question. I didn't send this to you, but it's kind of formulating in my mind. Are there types of brands that would benefit more than others, or type of products, services, et cetera, do you think?
You know, at the beginning, when we started RAD, we really thought that we lend ourselves really naturally to the beauty and the fashion sector. And then we were surprised the demand that we got from other industries, like the food sector, technology, DIY. And essentially, we understood that influencer marketing, that user-generated content sits well on any brand across any sector, but has an appreciation for social strategy, has an appreciation for the importance of social influence and social proof. So it can really sit across several industries, but it's very important to choose the right influencer that mirrors and reflects the expertise of the space that you are in.
Yeah, as a guy, I'm thinking hardware store in my head, right? I think this would work really well for a hardware store. You get an influencer that's really good at the building like things, and but boom.
Exactly. And that we got a lot of demand from hardware stores and showing videos of how things are put together. And, you know, for some people, that's a passion. I mean, not for me, trust me. If I get a delivery from IKEA and I have to put something together, I actually lose the will to leave. I'm like, no, not for me. No, not for me. But for some people, it's a real hobby. It's something that they love, and they love following others who do it, or they like the guidance and advice of how to put something together.
Yeah. Honestly, even as a guy, I sometimes need the instructions.
Well, there you go. Imagine watching visual instructions, step-by-step video, and that's exactly what we do.
And we're going to go down this rabbit hole just a little bit more. So you think of YouTube. A lot of people will go to YouTube and look for this, but what if it's right on the page that you're shopping on?
Exactly. I absolutely agree. I mean, look, YouTube is great because YouTube is Google indexed, so it helps you get a little bit of more video searchability. YouTube is great if you want to capture another target audience, but ultimately you want to drive them to your website. So from your website, you don't want to drive them out to YouTube. On the other hand, some brands integrate YouTube videos on their website, and there's some pros and cons to it. I mean, the pro is that it's easy to upload onto YouTube and to integrate it, but the con is that it can slow down your website, and also it really doesn't look that good. Visually, everyone knows that a YouTube integrated video just doesn't look beautiful and sexy. And so what we do, because we host the videos, we don't slow down the website. The videos load the minute that the website is fully loaded. So no matter how many videos you integrate through RAD on your website, there is no slowing down of the site. And in addition to it, the videos can be integrated in any shape, in any format, and they look absolutely stunning. Just like Instagram stories, super cool, super modern, and they really get the vibe of the brand.
Nice. So we are going to be putting that link to RAD down below if you're watching this on video, or it'll be in the show notes. So just say, is it rad.com, RADD.com?
So it's RADDcontent.com, radcontent.com.
Okay, so if you're watching this and you just want to go rather than hop down the show notes, there you go. So let's continue on. Most of my audience are online entrepreneurs, a lot of coaches, consultants. There are some that have their own SaaS or in the e-commerce space. But can you talk about the idea of turning your customers into influencers and how that can work in the coaching space, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, brands understand the importance of influencer marketing. Even the big brands that we work with have very limited capacity to fully utilize influencers because of time and because of resources and budgets. So we're saying, well, hold on a minute. You've got customers who are shopping at your site. Why not use them as an important marketing tool? We know that customers these days love creating content. They love sharing content. That's the generation that we're on. So there's the opportunity, post-purchase, post-interaction, use your own customers and allow them to create content for you. What is also very important to remember is that customers want to feel included. They want to have a voice. They want to be part of the brand. They want to tell the brand story using their own words. And the minute that you're utilizing customers to create content is also where you're creating a brand community. And that is really the gold part for any brand to achieve. A brand community consists of loyal customers that will not only have repeat purchase, but they will advocate your own brand for you. And using user-generated content created by customers allows you to create that for your brand. So for the coaches or the service industry, this could be used in the same format. Customers and clients that you work with, it's not only for product, but also for service. Can they advocate for you? Can they share their own experience with another audience? Give them a platform and a voice, and you'll see what magic they can work for you.
Nice. So I'm thinking a lot of service industries also create swag, or coaches have, like, once they reach a certain level, they have swag to their brand, right? Like they have shirts and all this type of merchandise. I can see this working really well in swag sales.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, imagine you're selling items, t-shirts, hats, pens, whatever it might be that really well communicates the brand and creates some sort of a brand community. And why not let your customers take videos of themselves where they can share the passion for your own swag and your own brand? Because it's not about the t-shirt, and it's not about the socks, and it's not about the hat. It's what you're representing. And so don't just focus on product photography. There's more to it. The real magic is the story. And the best way that you can tell the brand story is using your customers. They'll tell it for you, and they want to tell it for you. They want to be part of that brand story. The minute that they put on the t-shirt and they say what this brand represents and how they feel part of a community using this t-shirt with this brand, with the logo, is really what it's all about. I mean, if I just really wanted a t-shirt, I'll go to the market and I'll get a t-shirt for $2. But that's not what it's about. You're not selling a t-shirt. You're selling more than that. And you've got to find a way to express that magic to your potential buyers, right? And this is really why it lends itself very well. We've got to remember that we're not selling products and services. Customers are not really purchasing products for its physical benefits, but they want magic and they want a story. And as brands, please provide them with that.
Yeah, I just think community, and a lot of the coaches, what they provide is a transformation, right? So when you give somebody a transformation, they're more than happy to promote you. You know, if you've changed their life in a certain way, this lends it to it. This lends it so well.
I mean, listen, transformation is you feel like you got a new life. You wake up and you see the world with a completely new lens, and you're like, God, I am reborn. Yes. Imagine that feeling. You know, it's better than winning the lottery. You're waking up with new horizons, unlimited capabilities, and you are really more in touch and aligned with who you are deep inside. And you wear that swag because now it represents what that journey held for you. And you want to talk about it with others because you want to share that magic that you received, the gift that you received. And it is the biggest gift that you can receive. There's nothing more beautiful than that.
New level of freedom.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. I agree.
Nice. Well, Natalie, it has been super awesome. You have shared so much, and RAD seems like an amazing platform. So please go check it out. radcontent.com, correct?
That's right. Yes.
All right. So go check it out. It'll be in the show notes. Anything else that you want people to, any other way that they can check out your content or what you do?
With pleasure. You can visit me on LinkedIn, Natalie Staub. You can visit Rad Content on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, our website. And if I were just to give advice for everybody listening out there, is start a business and have fun with it. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game for us to go and work out and train and grow. And I love it because it gives me so much, but it's just somewhere I go and I have fun with it, which means it never exhausts me. It never saps any energies into me, but it really revives me. And it gives me so much joy and so much love and so much light where I can really share it with others.
That is awesome. And I even enjoy the challenges, because entrepreneurship, let's not lie, it is challenging at times, but I enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Because as a job, you're often not challenged. In a job, you're often not challenged.
I agree. And that's what I was seeking for as well. I mean, I was so cushy and comfortable in my job, but come on, I need to grow, you know, and I would like to grow until the day I die. For me, life is growth. And I was comfortable, but that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. I really have to find new boundaries. I have to discover what my abilities are, and I have to push, and I have to learn exactly, you know, how much I'm capable of. And the more I'm able to grow myself is also the more that I'm able to help others to grow. And so that's a gift that you've got to give to others as well.
Yes, I'm glad you pointed that out, is that you can pass that, what you learn along. And there's so much value in that. And it's so rewarding to me, I know, to be able to do that. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That is amazing. So thank you again, Natalie. It has been amazing. As I've said, this is like one of my favorite interviews. So
Thank you for having me. Well, we have to meet again this time next week with a cup of coffee, maybe a glass of wine.
There we go. So until next time, Trailblazers, keep moving forward.